Welcome to Gonti Black Friday. And as far as our opening hand goes, yes, we're going to keep on this one. We've got coffers, we've got some spot removal, we'll reanimate. Look at that beautiful art. Look how good that looks. Oh. And make sure we get Gonti pop back up. And let's go and lead off with Swamp, and then anything else, we're going to go pass the turn over to our opponent. So we're playing Gonti, Lord of Luxury, Death Touch. Whenever Gonti enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of our opponent's library. Put one of those cards into exile when we spend our mana or any color to cast that spell, and put the rest on the bottom of their library in a random order. Let's go Swamp and go Night's Whisper. It's going to be 1-2. And then this is pretty good so far. We've got Doomblade and Toxic Deluge, because one of the main things that we want to do in this deck is we want to stop Etali from ramping really quick. So we're playing against Etali. Whenever Etali attacks, exile the top card of each player's library. Then you may cast any number of non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. And let's see, run into Crypt Gas. So we've got coffers, which is not going to do much right now. Hopefully we could run into another card draw source, because right now we're just a little bit bottlenecked on mana. And then I will go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you build your very own Gonti deck, whether it's Panharmonicon, Massacre Worm, Crypt Gas, whatever sort of mono black card you may need, they've got you covered. And head on over there. Also, shout out to inkgaming.com. You can use coupon code JOLT. Oh, there we go. I was getting really worried we weren't going to be able to just get stuck on a ton of stuff. So let's go double. There we go. That is a lot better. I think we just ended up going Panharmonicon with. No, I was going to set us up for Gonti next turn. We could go Crypt Gas, but this is mono red, so we're probably looking at some sort of spot removal, I would assume. So let's get down Panharmonicon, and then we're going to go on pass turn. But yeah, shout out to inkgaming.com. Use coupon code JOLT to get 10% off your order. Whether it's a dice bag, playmat, whatever you're in the market for, they've got you covered. Or you can type in JOLT539 into the search feature and see some of my cool playmat designs. I've got a Gonti playmat and a Gonti t-shirt. I think the t-shirt's coming out this Friday. We'll see. Should be. I think this one, a lot of the t-shirt designs get uploaded. So it'll be down in the description below if we do have it. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to contribute to the Patreon, there's a link down in the description below. Get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits. And if you can't join the Patreon, hey, no problem. Just tell somebody about the channel. I'd appreciate that. So let's go lead off with Gonti. We've got double Panharmonicon. It is officially a free time. We can have some fun now. So there we go. This is exactly what you want to see with the Gonti deck. Double Gonti triggers, and then Paradox Engine, Artisan of Kozilek. Yeah, I think we just go Paradox Engine. Yeah, let's grab that. Now, we are stuck on lands, and unfortunately with Gonti, even if you grab a land, you cannot play it because you have to cast that spell. So if you're sitting there saying, hey, just grab a few lands, I wish I could. And I guess we'll just go and grab Conqueror's Gallon. That's kind of the only legal target. So got a couple different things of those. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So you may have noticed that Paradox Engine is in the exile zone. I am playing 1 versus 1 commander. That is the reason why our live totals are starting at 30. 1 versus 1 commander has a different ban list than regular commander. To be honest, I think Paradox Engine can be banned in multiplayer commander. I definitely think it could be banned in 1 versus 1 commander. But I tweeted at Magic Online and I said, hey, whenever they announce the Paradox Engine banning, and opponents just cycling, I like that. And whenever they announced the Paradox Engine bannings, I tweeted at Magic Online and said, hey, is there any changes to 1 versus 1? And they replied, no, not at this time. So I was like, I don't know if they forgot or what. But anyways, it's legal in 1 versus 1 commander, so just keep that in mind. That's why it's over there. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's sometimes where I feel like 1 versus 1 commander, and I love it. 1 versus 1 commander is so much fun. You know, as you can tell, I have a channel dedicated to it. But as far as 1 versus 1 commander with Magic Online, I don't really know what they're doing. Like the actual people who are in charge of it, and like I don't even know who's in charge of it now. So I don't know if it's just something like, because basically, like, here's the history of 1 versus 1 commander. If you've been watching the channel, you've seen some of my decks, what they've gone through. They tried to make 1 versus 1 commander a thing, and then they introduced this format, and then Brawl was really popular at the time because that was the best thing you could do. If, you know, and here's the problem with 1 versus 1 commander. If you try to make it a format, you know, people are gonna be like, well, I need to win now, instead of just being like, you know, I just want to have fun slinging some spells. And so opponent, look at this Etali deck. And then just hit an Ancient Craving off that Chaos Wand. I like it. That's some good magic. But but yeah, basically 1 versus 1. You know, whenever you make it a tournament format, people are going to try to break it. So people made Brawl decks, and Brawl was the worst thing you could play against in the format. It was just brutal. It was horrible. And I'll talk about that here in a second. So we unfortunately didn't hit the land drop, but we've got some stuff we can do. We got 3 Dynamo. We can tap down, add a little bit of extra mana to untap our non-land permanents. And that's basically just going to give us an extra 3 Dynamo trigger. Is that what we end up going for? Let's get Gonti pop back up. I was like, where did Gonti go for a second? So if we end up doing that, that's going to be 1, 2, 3. That's going to be a couple. We have no card draw, unfortunately. If we had some card draw, I'd be going for that. So I think that's what we're going to end up going for. Let's go coffers. It's going to put us at 4 total mana. And if we end up going Paradox Engine, that's going to give us 2. Yeah, fine. Let's go for that. Let's go. Let's go for our opponent's Paradox Engine, and then there's no creatures that we can go for. Actually, now that we had Reanimate in the hand, whenever they went for that damage spell, probably should have sent Gonti back to the graveyard, and that would have allowed us to reanimate that creature. Anything else for 2? No, we're gonna go and pass turn. Yeah, we can't cast Henny, so we're gonna kick it back over there. But what we can do is, if things get a little bit nutty, we can probably just go and dump Massacre Worm in there, because that's probably the least thing that we're really wanting to go for. And if we ended up going for Reanimate, we could do that. But yeah, back to 1 versus 1 commander. So they wanted to make it a format, and so Brawl was one of the best decks you could play, because Brawl, Polymorph, and yeah, that's a really cheap commander right there. So what they ended up trying to do is they basically just, I don't know why they tried to keep Brawl in the format for as long as they did. So they kept it in the format. Each bannings, and they were pretty regular about banning them. They would ban, and for some reason they banned like all the good tutor spells, which is really much a bummer. Our opponent's going to go for Grim Tutor. Okay, this is, I tell you, this is a wild game. I'm excited. I've been having a little bit of rough time getting a good Gonti game, so that's why I'm just kind of jumping into story time. But yeah, so anyway, they tried to keep Brawl in the format, and they started banning all the blue cantrips. Like banned Brainstorm. They banned like Ponder, Preordain. So all you had was like Opt. Not even Opt. I think you just had like, yeah, I think it was Opt. That was like the only blue cantrip you could go for. And so I was like, okay. And so the next thing you know, like they banned all the Vampiric Tutor and Lightened Tutor, all the good tutors that you associate with Commander. Those got banned too. They started to ban the fast mana, which I can get banning some fast mana. Ooh, Vandal Blast. That was pretty brutal. Anyway, so banned a lot of stuff, and then we'll continue the story in a second. So there's no creatures. I know you're just waiting. So there's no creatures in our opponent's graveyard, none in ours, and they did hit our. We have no permanents like that either. I was tempted just to go for Demonic Tutor and just go for another rock or something like that, just to kind of start generating some value. Yeah, we're just not hitting our land drop, which is really brutal for us. So yeah, let's just go and go for that. It's going to be 3. Yeah, we're able to untap our non-land permanents, but we don't really have any of them out there right now. So let's go Demonic Tutor. And if we just end up going for coffers, I think that might be the best thing that we can do. So let's see. Excuse me, I need to grab Urborg. There we go. So we're going to grab Urborg. That's going to be the land drop for the turn. In my head, I was trying to grab coffers, but coffers are already in the battlefield. And the other piece I was thinking of was Urborg, so I feel a lot better about that. That's going to be 1, 2, and then, yeah, I guess we can actually just go for Yahenni. That'll get some sort of creature on the battlefield. Untap our non-land permanents, which we do not have, and we'll get Yahenni down. It just yeah, we'll just go and swing in for 2, because even if they swing in with the Etali with haste or something, that's fine. So let's go and swing in for 2, knock him down to 22, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, I meant to say Urborg, because that's going to turn us on for coffers. But yeah, so long story short, they banned a lot of the cantrips, they banned the good tutors, and then next thing you know, 1 versus 1 commander just turned into like this kind of like, just who could like play a Selvala deck, mono green, and it was just like, ugh, it was really yucky. Not really a lot of fun. And then towards the end, like they just hit the reset button and just unbanned a lot of stuff, unbanned the old cards, then tossed in prime time. Like, hey, here's prime time in your 1 versus 1 format. So, anyways, long story short, this is 1 versus 1 commander. So if you play the Wild Wild West of Commander, here it is. Have some fun. This is what we're going for. So our opponent did end up getting down a Etali. Does have haste. So what we'll probably end up going, and they did catch our Worn Power Stone, which is not that bad. You know, could be worse than that. And you're looking at Needle Drop. So that's could be worse for us. So what we'll probably end up doing is holding up at least Hero's Downfall. We might end up going for just Ravenous Chupacabra, if that's what we ended up going for. And even we can actually end up just going for Force of Despair, if that's what we want to do. So let's do that. So let's go and push him with Yahenni. Yeah, I think I like this because we have Force of Despair. Destroy all creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. So what we can do next turn, if they go to recast Etali, we can just exile one of these cards in our hand and go for that. And I think I kind of like that. So what we'll probably end up doing is going Doomblade on Etali. And that gives an additional counter on Yahini and also kind of force them to start recasting Etali. At least hopefully we can keep them off the battlefield. All right, so swinging in for 2. Let's go Doomblade on Etali. It's going to send Etali back to the command zone. We're going to get in for 2, put them down to 20. Yeah, and I think if we just end up going Cryptghast. Yeah, we do that. So we end up going Cryptghast because we still have Force of Despair. We can just exile a black card from our hand and still get rid of Etali once it comes down. So 1 mana left floating. We can end up going Massacre Worm. Creatures opponent scroll, get -2/-2. That'll be another clock we can end up going for. Yeah, I think I kind of like that. So if we end up going Massacre Worm, yeah, let's do that. So we've got the Extort ability. That's going to give us a pretty good little board state developed right now. And then we still got Force of Despair to go for. We can get rid of Toxic Deluge because we're going to try to close this one out. And that's going to be our opponent's creatures get -2, which they don't have any creatures. And then we'll at least be swinging in next turn for about 10. That gives us about a 2-turn clock. Then we can start to kind of, on the back end, end up going for Gonti. But yeah, long story short, that's why... Paradox Engine is still not banned in 1v1 Commander, and I don't know if it ever will be, because I don't know if there's anybody... Oh, Blasphemous Act, okay. So what we can do, sacrifice another creature, it gets indestructible. So let's just go ahead and sacrifice Massacre Worm. That's going to give Yahini indestructible. Yeah, we'll see if there's anybody out there who's actually managing the 1v1 format. If not, then hey, if you want to play Primetime and Paradox Engine in the... Wild West of Magic Commander. Hey, there you go. So let's see what this Chaos Wand's going to unfold for us. Hopefully it's not too... If they hit Worst Fears, that wouldn't... Hopefully that doesn't happen. Wouldn't be that good. So let's go and cross off the Chaos Wand action. Let's see what they reveal. Diabolic Revelation. Okay. And I think with Diabolic Revelation, they can cast it, but they can't pay X, which is going to be a really good option for us. So I really do like that. And one of the good things about them going for these Chaos Wand activations is that if we do end up running into One-Eyed, that's going to allow us to bring some of these cards back out of our hand. So that'll be good. Let's see what we draw into for the turn. Hopefully it's a land, not just Geralt. Okay. So let's go and push in with Yahini. And if you're here for a 10-turn clock with Yahini dealing damage, hey, this is the game for you. So let's go and swing across. It's going to put them down to 18. And this is why I like Commander, because you end up with these bizarro board states where most of the time you have turn 10, somebody's like very clearly about to win, and none of us are about to do that. Let's go Coffers again. Let's go for Gonti. At some point, we'll run into another land for our turn. I'll tap down one more. It's going to untap Yahini. We're going to have Gonti enter the battlefield. And that's going to be double enter the battlefield triggers too. Let's see what we hit off of these Gonti triggers. Okay, Sunbird's Invocation. That is definitely a Soul Ring. Man, oh, this is such a good pile. Wayfarer's Bauble gives us a land, which is exactly what we want to see. Sunbird's Invocation. Now, Sunbird's Invocation is really good, but I'm almost tempted to just go for Soul Ring just to get some sort of mana going. Because at this point, the longer we let them stick around and go for Chaos Wand, we just have a lot of removal and board wipes in here. I just don't know how good Sunburn's Invocation is in our deck. So I think at this point, we just go Soul Ring, because we can immediately get that down and get ahead on mana, which is exactly what we need to go for. But yes, I definitely wanted to grab that Invocation, but... Ooh, and then Scour from Existence. Yes, we definitely want that. So we're going to grab Scour from Existence. That's going to give us an opportunity to finally get rid of Chaos Wand. Let's go Soul Ring. Get to untap our permanents. We'll have Soul Ring come down, and we'll be able to use that Scour from Existence on Chaos Wand, which is going to be a really good thing for us. So that at least just kind of stops some of the randomness, and we still have Force of Despair too. So if they end up casting Etali, that's going to give us some sort of answer for Etali. So anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. But yeah, so Magic Festalis, I haven't talked about it much. I do have a video on Magic Festalis coming out sometime soon. I have it kind of thrown together. I need to record some of the audio for it. But I play with PJ a lot, and that was really cool. And I recorded a game against Boros earlier, and I got almost... Oh, actually, no, I got hit by Bruce Tarl and a Kiri Lineslinger, and that was just not... Get hit really hard. So our opponent's going to actually run into Dark Petition. And they have 2 or more instant or sorceries in their graveyard for sure. So let's see what they end up going for with Dark Petition. may not be that good for us. Let's see what's in store for us. But yeah, so Magic Fest Dallas, played against them. I played with Austin from Commander 99, which was really cool. He flew in from Florida and thought that was really fun. And we just had a lot of fun. We got to play against a lot of different people, met a lot of cool different people. And yeah, the all day, if you ever seen some of PJ's videos, whenever he does his video and something like really good's about to happen, he kind of has this really epic music. And there's just so many times where he just equipped Sunforger onto one of his creatures, and like I would just like, uh-oh. And he has this look in his face. And that's one of the cool things about getting to play against Austin and PJ in person is that you finally get to see their poker faces. And when PJ has a poker face for going infinite with Boros, you can definitely see it because he has this look like I'm about to. I hate to do this, but like he's really excited. It'd be like me going for a living death. Like I hate to do this, but it feels really good. And so that's basically what it was. But yeah, he gets Sunforger down and he had a couple different angels and he helped save us one game. There's this one guy that was really nice. Unfortunately I can't remember your name if you come across this video, but he's like, "Hey, I have Tassiger." And we're like, "Yeah." So then he sits down with Tassiger and we didn't know it at the time. He said it was competitive Tassiger. And I don't play a lot of competitive Commander, but it ended up being like Flash Hulk Tassiger. And Austin at one point was going to save Pete. Ooh, we got Ulamog, just hard cast Ulamog. Let's see what they decide to go for. They're going to Panharmonicon. That is a very good choice. And even if we end up going Force of Despair, that's not going to do anything. So we've got Scour from Existence, which is a very lore-wise, very cool thing that we can do. We can exile Ulamog next turn and still get some good Gonti stuff going. So we may end up going for that. Even though his Chaos Wand is not that good for us, I still like going for Scour from Existence on Ulamog, simply just to get rid of that Annihilator, because if we don't do that, that's pretty much going to be rough for us. So let's go and get the Infiltration Lens on there too, why not? So, all right, so we're going to get Soul Ring down and finally just run into a land. So let's go Coffers. We're going to tap down Soul Ring. That's going to be 6 total mana. Let's go Scour from Existence on Ulamog. Feels pretty good. All right, so we're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to be able to untap. There we go. Untap Soul Ring with the Paradox Engine. So we're going to exile Ulamog. Get out of here, buddy. And then, yeah, this is definitely Bizarro magic right now. I love it. We're going to swing it for 4. It's going to knock them down to 14. And I think at this point, we just leave up Hero's Downfall and Force of Despair. We do get into spots where we can actually end up blasting Gonti if we want to with like Hero's Downfall. Yeah, we might end up doing that. So we'll just go on past her. Or we can basically just sacrifice Gonti with Yahini. That would be a definitely better line of play to go for. So, but yeah, with the Magic Fest Dallas, met a lot of cool people. There's that game where we played against Tassiger and our opponent. So PJ he just kept swinging in at this guy, the Tassiger guy. And, if you just walk up to the table, "Hey, can we play?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not going to just make you the target on the table." And so PJ kept swinging in at him. And at one point, Austin was going to like pop one of his PJ's creatures with a piece of removal just to, kind of give him a little bit more time in the game. And then PJ just very seriously looks over at Austin and goes, "Don't. You'll be dead if you don't." And he goes, "Don't do that. You'll be dead if you destroy this creature. We don't get rid of him." And it was just very much like, "Okay, PJ." And then next thing you know, PJ gets rid of him, and then the guy's like, "Yeah, you got me." And then like he shows like where he had the Flash Hulk combo. He's gonna go off next turn. So both me and Austin looked at PJ like it felt like PJ told us not to run over to the van that says free candy, and they want to abduct you in that van. And we're like, "Thank you, PJ." So he was Papa PJ for that game, saved us from Flash Hulk combo, and then we played against a Brago deck that was Brago stacks, and they just like on course with any Brago deck, they get down Winter Orb on like turn 3 or maybe turn 2. And so that was that was around lunchtime. And so if you see my videos, you've seen where like if we get down Winter Orb, that's not a lot of fun magic. And so that's when I downloaded the Subway app, and I was just going to start to turn in our order for Subway so I could run over there and grab Subway because it's close to the convention center. So that's what my turn was, or that's basically what my game was just figuring out how to download the Subway app, how to get stuff linked up to it. I ended up ordering a ciabatta sandwich, which was really nice. Enjoyed it. That was really good. And then once I download the app, I get everything through there. I just, like, it wouldn't even work. Like, I tried to go pay with my credit card, so that wouldn't work. But anyway, it distracted me from the from the stuff, from the winter orb, and that Brago player did end up winning. Now we do have Force of Despair, which we're going to be able to go for. Destroy all creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. Oh. So we'll be able to go for that. Let's see what else they end up tapping out for. This is going to be really, it might end up being a Chaos Wand activation, but it seems like they're tapping out for a pretty good chunk of mana. Oh. That's going to be Kozilek. Now, Kozilek does not have Indestructible. The only downside is that they're going to be able to go for refueling their hand, which is not going to be good. Okay, so Kozilek's going to, yeah, let's do this. So we're going to go for Hero's Downfall on Kozilek. I think I like that. So Hero's Downfall on Kozilek, because we can't go for Force of Despair. And the main reason I'm doing this is because they have a 3-mana spell. I don't want them to be able to do that. So let's go Hero's Downfall on Kozilek. And then once the coast is clear, we'll end up going for Force of Despair. So let's go Hero's Downfall on Kozilek. That's going to untap Soul Ring. Okay, so they did have something with 3, so they're going to be able to counter Hero's Downfall. Let's go Force of Despair. I think we're just going to straight up just cast it. That's going to be 1, 2. So we're going to go for Force of Despair. We still get to untap the Soul Ring. Let's see if this is good. Do they have another 3-drop in their hand? Oh, they've got Garrison. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's going to count. They've got both of those countered. We do have Noxious Gearhulk for next turn, which we can end up going for. That's going to get rid of Kozilek and allow us to draw some card draw. Dang it. Hey, sometimes when you've got it, you've got it. So we'll definitely end up going for Noxious Gearhulk next turn. It would have been nice to get that Force of Despair to stick. That would have been some really good counters on Yahini. All right, so let's go Swamp. Man, that was rough. So let's tap Coffers down. Let's go Soul Ring. This is a fun game. So we're gonna go for Noxious Gearhulk. Let's see if they've got a 6-drop. I'm gonna be able to untap Soul Ring. Okay, this is gonna stick. So we're gonna target Kozilek. It's gonna get rid of Kozilek. We're gonna be able to gain 12, and it's gonna make this. Yes, definitely want to use that ability. Get rid of Kozilek. It's gonna get an extra counter on Yahini. That's also gonna allow us to go for Toxic Deluge for 2, which is pretty much what we want to end up going for. So let's go Toxic Deluge for 2. So we're going to be able to attack Soul Ring. That's going to give us a few extra counters on Yahini. Yahini will go down to 1, but once these Siege Game Commander and Goblin gets taken care of, and then we'll be able to get those counters. So it's going to always yield to Yahini. So we make Yahini a 5/5. And let's go and swing across. And I think Gonti is... I can't remember what Gonti's is. We'll still go and swing in for 1 because that'll make Gonti happy. It's going to put them down to 9. And let's still just go ahead and sacrifice Gonti. We're going to send Gonti back to the command zone. Yeah, that'll be good. So we're going to sacrifice Gonti, and we'll see how much it costs. I think it's going to be 8 mana. Oh, which can be just enough. So, all right, so we're going to tap out for Gonti. Okay, so we're going to get the untap trigger with a Paradox Engine. That's going to untap Yahini. We're going to have Gonti enter the battlefield. Deals 4 damage to any target. Goblin Dark Dwellers. Thran Dynamo. Alright, so we can actually just go for 4 damage next turn. It's going to put them down to 5. And then if we end up going for Dark Dwellers on... Yeah, let's grab Dark Dwellers, because we can actually end up going Dark Dwellers on Demonic Tutor, and that'll give us something like Exsanguinate. Alright, so anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Anything else about Magic Fest? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, we had some good funs. Met a couple different people. Shout out to Mitch. I really enjoyed playing games with you. Got to meet Steve. I think Steve or Steven. Unfortunately, we never got to play a game, and that was a little bit of a bummer because they were playing a lot of side events, and so that was a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and it really renewed my perspective on like Magic Fest or Grand Prix, because I used to go to a lot of Grand Prix events and a lot of Star City Game events, but I would always go to play Modern, and sorry about that. And then leading up to the actual event, oh, they hit Damnation off Chaos Wands. Okay, so that's going to get rid of our board state. Oh, we'll sacrifice. Yeah, we're going to send Gonti back to the command zone. Give Yahini Indestructible. I almost clicked through that. All right, there we go. So Indestructible on Yahini. And that's still going to give us a 7/7. And we'll kick it back over there. But yeah, leading up to a Grand Prix, you're playing Modern, you're playing in the main event, and there's a certain level of anxiety, a certain level of, I just paid $60 for a tournament, so I need to show some sort of, showing for it. And at the time, I'm just playing a lot of Mindcrank, so I would never do good. And so I just really grew to hate just like Grand Prix events, because my taste of a Grand Prix event was basically going to day one and scrubbing out and then going home tired after just spending the last 3 weeks prepping for this tournament. So being able to go to Magic Fest and just show up and play all day and just play Commander, get to meet cool people, it was really cool. So and then next time it happens in Magic Fest, and next time it happens in Dallas, oh my gosh, what is this game? This is Bizarro World, and I love it, but it's just it's so clunky right now, and we're about to get Aetherflux down. But yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed our experience with Magic Fest, and it was really cool. So, all right, so they're gonna get down Tamio's Journal, and let's see what we draw into. Draw into Phyrexian Arena. A little late to the party there, buddy. So I guess at this point we can untap Soul Ring. And actually, let's do this. So we can, no, it has to be 3 or less without paying its mana cost. So if we're going to be casting anything, Force of Despair, we can Crimp Gas. So basically, really the only thing we can end up going for is Demonic Tutor or Goblin Dark Dweller. So let's go Coffers. All right, so we're going to be able to untap Soul Ring. We're going to go Goblin Dark Dwellers on on Demonic Tutor. And I guess at this point, do we need to go Exsanguinate? I'm trying to figure out what's going to be our best course of action. So let's go Demonic Tutor. We're going to use that last 2 mana to go for Demonic Tutor. We're going to cast Demonic Tutor. That's going to allow us to untap Soul Ring again, add a little bit of extra mana to our mana pool. And let's get this popped out. So what helps us? I think we just go Torment of Hellfire, because we don't have enough mana to generate Exsanguinate, and Torment of Hellfire is really going to wreck their board state. So let's grab Torment of Hellfire. And I think at this point, we're going to wait for Coffers. Now, we can end up going for Phyrexian Arena. That's going to give us a little bit of extra card draw. Actually, let's go Gonti. That'll be a good option for us to go for. So let's go Gonti. Okay, we're going to go untap Soul Ring. We'll have Gonti enter the battlefield. Let's go and exile a card from our opponent's library. Mind Stone, Prismatic Lens, and then Wayfarer's Bauble. I think at this point we just grab Wayfarer's Bauble, because that's going to give us an untap with Soul Ring to add just a little bit extra mana. So we'll grab that Wayfarer's Bauble. Let's go and swing in for 7 across at our opponent. That's going to put them down to 20. And then we go for Phyrexian Arena. And actually, if we actually just end up going Wayfarer's Bauble and make the land drop for the turn, that'll be a little bit of extra mana for next turn. No, I think I like holding on to Wayfarer's Bauble for an activation. So let's go Soul Ring. We're going to have Phyrexian Arena. Yeah, we'll do that. So we'll get down Phyrexian Arena. Then we can use Wayfarer's Bauble next turn, simply just to get 1 more mana ahead on Wayfarer's Bauble. I think that'll be good, because we can get the Swamp down. That'll give us 2 mana. But yeah, let's just go and crack Wayfarer's Bauble now that I think about it. So we're going to add that 2 mana to our mana pool with Soul Ring. Let's go and crack Wayfarer's Bauble. That way we can just get the Swamp down and just be done with it, just in case something happens. All right, so anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. And if I misjudge that, if it is better to hold on to Wayfarer's Bauble for the back end, for next turn to kind of get an extra Storm activation with Soul Ring, I do apologize. I just, like, at this point, we're at like almost the 30-minute mark, and it's just a little rough. Try not to lose to a Aetherflux Reservoir against an Etali deck, so we'll see. And in fact, at this point, since I have been yakking so much, I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of pause just for a little bit, let them kind of do this turn, and we'll talk about what they do. Okay, so they are swinging with Etali, and let's see what they hit off of the... Okay, they hit Kaya's Ghost Form. So they can put Kaya's Ghost Form onto Etali. So they can have Etali enter the battlefield again. Now, what this is basically going to do is just allow us to dodge the commander attacks and then be getting down Ghost Form onto Etali. But that still gives them another Aetherflux Reservoir. And we are looking at Dragon Master Outcast too. So that's something they can also go for. Oh, dang it. Oh, dang. I meant to block on this, and our opponent, they said something in the chat. Now they said something about not casting the enchantment. I said, this is a game is wild, and I accidentally let that 6 damage go through. So that would have been an additional counter on Yahenni. So I do apologize about that misplay, but this is It's just a wild game right now. All right, so Phyrexian Reclamation. All right, that is a very. Oh no, did they hit worse fear? Oh no, they hit worse fears. Okay, each opponent. Oh man. Oh no. That's like the one card. What can we do about this? Oh man. Okay, so they get the Aether Flux Reservoir trigger. I was hoping they. Oh no, this is not good. Okay, so they control us. I guess we just sack the board out and then they cast Torment of Hellfire for like X is 0. Oh man. Oh. Oh, this is not good. Okay, so I think do we just sack out right now just to not give them anything because they swing in? I doubt they're gonna swing in. They'll just gonna sack them anyway. All right, so they're gonna go for the expedition map crack. Yeah, that's a that's a bummer. That's a that is our worst fears that they hit that card off of Etali. Oh my goodness. No, our opponent did cast Worst Fear, so they did cast it. Okay, so anyway, I mean, even if we sack them out, it's whatever. All right, so we're gonna let our opponent run through this turn, and then once this is done, we'll see what's going on. All right, so they cast Torment of Hellfire for X equals 0. They sacrifice Gonti and have Gonti go to the graveyard, which is very important to note. That instead of going to the command zone, it does go to the graveyard, and they did sacrifice Goblin Dark Dwellers. Now we're going to see Ravenous Chupacabra enter the battlefield. That is not a May ability. Destroy target creature and opponent control. So they will end up having to either target Etali or Dragon Master Outcast. So let's see who they decide to target off this. Okay, so let's get us send Etali back to the command zone. And then they're going to end up casting Helm of Possession. Sacrifice a creature, gain control of target creature as long as you control it. So they end up sacrificing Yahini. We gain control of Dragon Master, and I think that ends up helping us out. Oh, and excuse me, so with Helm of Possession, they can actually sacrifice one of our creatures to gain control of our other creature, and that's probably what they're going to end up going for. Yeah, that's what they did. So they sacrificed Yahini to gain control of Ravenous Chupacabra. And the only good thing about this is that we did run into Army of the Damned. Thankfully, our opponent didn't hit Army of the Damned, so we've got some sort of answer on the back end. Not an answer, but at least some sort of board wipe that we can try to end up going for. Oh, that was rough. And then now it's going to be their turn. Okay, so they're going to pass the turn. All right, so they're going to have the Teamio's Journal. Once again, we are approaching like the 40-minute mark, so I'm going to go and let them do their thing, and if something pops up, I'll talk about it. Okay, so they go for Chaos Wand, and they end up going Supernatural Stamina on Dragon Master Outcast. And then we will see Etali coming down again this time. So, long story short, they went for Supernatural Stamina on Dragon Master Outcast off of Chaos Wand. They cast Hedron Archive, and they are giving Etali haste. So we'll see what they end up hitting off of this Etali trigger. My goodness, this is a crazy game. I wish we hadn't whiffed on that 6 last time, but that happens sometimes. Let's see. Okay, they hit a swamp. Okay. There we go. So that's not what we have to worry about. That's good right there that they hit a swamp. We're definitely going to block on Ravenous Chupacabra simply just because we need to save a little bit of damage. They're getting very close to that Aether Flux Reservoir, which is not going to be good for us. Now, we can go for Army of the Damned next turn. Untap permanents. We're going to untap Helm of Possession. We're going to cash in an extra card draw off of Phyrexian Arena, see what we run into. Sad Robot, a little late to the party there, buddy, and then we run into Ancient Tomb, which is not really what we want to see at all. So, we do have Conqueror's Gallon. We might end up casting that. That's going to be crew for 4. These zombies are going to enter the battlefield tapped, which is not super great. But yeah, let's go Sad Robot. That way we can just get a little bit ahead on mana. It's going to allow us to untap Soul Ring. We'll have that swamp enter the battlefield. That'll at least give us a blocker on the ground. I guess. I don't know. All right, so we're going to go swamp. We'll tap down Coffers. Make the land drop for the turn. Let's go coffers. It's going to be 1/2. That's going to be Army of the Damned. We're going to be able to untap. And actually, now that I think about it, we can sacrifice one of our creatures. We can sacrifice Sad Robot to gain control of Etali. I think that'll be good. And then it'll still give us an extra card draw. So let's do that. So we're going to target Etali. We're going to sacrifice Sad Robot. That's going to allow us to gain control. I don't think there's anything that... Yes, definitely want to use that ability. Drawn to One-Eyed. Okay, there we go. Now we're kind of getting somewhere. I can untap Soul Ring. That's going to be Army of the Damned. Let's go for One-Eyed. It's going to allow us to untap Soul Ring. Oh, and excuse me, they're going to be able to gain control of another creature. Okay, so let's go One-Eyed. Let's grab Torment of Hellfire again. That's going to bring Torment of Hellfire back. And I think now's when we sacrifice one of the zombies. Or if we want to, we can actually crew up the Gallon. I think that'll be okay. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. It'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the first thing that we grabbed off of Gonti, so we'll finally get this one down. All right, so we're going to get that down. And now I see what happened to Helm of Possession. So we're going to go Helm of Possession. We're going to gain control of Etali. We're going to pay 2. And we're going to sacrifice one of the zombie tokens. There we go. Gain control of Etali. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn over to our opponent. So we've got Torment of Hellfire. We hit One-Eyed. We got back Torment of Hellfire. We've got the zombies untapped with Army of the Damned. They're going to get another dragon down, which they can give it haste, I think. Off of somewhere they're getting haste, so they can get haste. And then, yeah, battlements, that's going to be 10, puts us down to 2. I mean, puts us down to 8. We'll see. Let's see what they end up going for the turn. We can always still crew up the Conqueror's Gallon. So we'll see if that's what we end up going for. But let's go and let them do this turn. And unfortunately, they've got 3 clue tokens too, so they've got an open Tamio's Journal where they can search the library for a card. Oh no, okay. So let's see what they end up searching for. Tamio's Journal. This game, I've been watching a lot of Stranger Things. Or actually, I'll start talking about Stranger Things. I've been finished Stranger Things Season 3, and this game makes me feel like I'm in the upside-down world of Stranger Things. But yeah, this is exactly what it feels like. But yeah, with Stranger Things, I finished Stranger Things 3. Really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen Stranger Things, highly recommend it. Season 1's a little serious, but in Season 2, Season 3, they strike a beautiful balance of kind of having fun. And I'm just not realizing that we kind of disrupted their Chaos Wand Paradox Engine combo, which feels really good. But yeah, with Go for the Throne, okay, that's fine. If they want to go for Etali, they can pop that. But with Stranger Things, it is such a good season. I love Season 3, and it's actually renewed my interest back in Dungeons & Dragons. So one of the things with Dungeons & Dragons, I've always loved Dungeons & Dragons, but, you know, I would play it with my group, or I always wanted to just use kind of like a rules-light Dungeons & Dragons. All right, so Molten Rain on coffers, which is going to stop this torment, and they're getting close to that. Oh no, it's going to put us down to 16. That definitely stops us. But anyway, Stranger Things has renewed my interest in Dungeons and Dragons, so you might start seeing some Dungeons and Dragons content on the channel sometime soon. Whether it's running the lounge through it, we were going to run the lounge through the Ravnica, which would have been a lot of fun. And I kind of did start to work on a campaign, but one of my big things is I hate like damage rolling in Dungeons and Dragons. I hate like hitting, like, you know, because if you're a wizard, or let's say you're like a warrior, and you're going to swing your axe and you hit somebody and then roll the damage die, and then you hit like, you roll 2d8 and you hit 1 and a 1 or like 1 and a 2. Like, come on, if you're going to hit somebody with an axe, more than likely you're going to get it. So if we end up seeing some Dungeons and Dragons, oh my God, are we about to get Aetherflux Reservoired out? Anyway, might be somewhere on the horizon. And let's see. They've got Larry David's disc to seal the deal. That's gonna get it. Good game to our opponent on this one. That's everything you want to see in a Commander game. Whew, okay, so that was a long one. Unfortunately, Yeah, target creature, they're going to have the Dragon Haste, and they're going to be overly cautious on this, which I don't blame them. I mean, at this point in the game, you want to make sure everything goes through humanly possible, because who knows if I have some sort of weird damage spell, but they're going to swing in for 10 in the air. It's going to put us down to 6, and then they're going to have the Aether Flux Reservoir activation for 3. I mean, for 50, and that'll put them down to 3. That'll put us down to negative 44. Untap power. Okay, well, they're going to give us the opportunity. They're going to leave it up as an instant speed interaction, so I appreciate that for them. Well, at least, maybe. I don't know what we can do about this, because we can't cast Torment of Hellfire during our upkeep. Mana Crypt trigger, and then Bajuka Bog, which doesn't do anything. Okay. So let's see. So maybe they forgot Aether Flux Reservoirs on the battlefield? Maybe that's the scenario? I don't know. We'll see. I guess we push in with the zombies. Maybe that might be it. I doubt that's it. They're probably waiting for us to at least swing in and do something. So at least we're going to go ahead and force the issue. So let's go and swing in with the 12 zombies. And then maybe we can get some lucky on a Torment of Hellfire or something like that. But so let's go and swing in. It's going to be the zombies coming across. And our opponent's going to use the Vance's Blasting Cannon for 3 damage on one of the zombies. Okay, so we're going to knock them down to 31. Yeah, and I guess we just go for it. So let's go Mana Crypt. We're going to add that 2 mana to our mana pool. We'll go Bajuka Bog. We're going to exile our opponent's library, or their graveyard. And let's go Torment of Hellfire. Okay, we're going to go Torment of Hellfire. We're going to be able to untap our permanents. X is going to be 14. Our opponent did say in the chat not Aether Flux win, so I don't know if they just don't want to go for an Aether Flux win, but we're at least going to force them to go for the Aether Flux win. At least go for the Torment of Hell. Well, actually, they can't go for the activation, so I don't know what that was about, but we'll go Torment of Hellfire. But they could have gone for the Aether Flux Reservoir win if they wanted to, but for some reason in the chat, they just said they didn't want to go for Aether Flux, so I don't know what that was about, but this has been a long game. So I'm getting to that point to where I'm getting a little stir crazy, because when you've been talking for about an hour, it's things get a little bit nutty. So, but we'll probably end up seeing is them going for the Spitfire Battalion win during their upkeep. That's probably what's going to end up happening, because they could just tap that land and deal some damage to us. Okay, let's put them down to 7. We're gonna see and actually, I guess we just go for Helm of Possession on Dragon Cast, just so they don't get a dragon. It's not gonna matter. It doesn't matter either way, but moral-wise, I'm cool with this. For the morale, we're gonna take the Dragon Cast Outmaster. So at this point, they've got the damage with Spitfire Bastion. We are sitting all the way down at 3, and we'll see what else they're gonna go for. But I'm ready for this game to be over. Finally, an end to the sanity. We have Dragon swings across for 5. That's going to put us down to -2. Definitely a good game to our opponent. I'm sure I missed something somewhere along the line. I felt that we played pretty tight on this one, but it really did not help us that we did not hit any lands very early on. We were just very much bottlenecked, and I am extremely tired. Hopefully you enjoyed this Gonti Black Friday. I think this is the longest Gonti video to date at this point, because they've always been 25 minutes, and that would have gone to 50 minutes, and we're looking at the 60, like almost the 60-minute mark right now. So this is officially the longest Gonti Black Friday deck or gameplay I've put out. That was definitely Bizarro Magic. Sometimes Magic just gets into this world to where we just keep trading resources, and I don't know. Anyways, I'm tired. Hey, hope you have a good weekend. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.